Okay, so this is my Balkan style fruitcake recipe. The recipe is at the end of the video and on my Google form. So this is the preparation. 6 egg whites, 5 egg whites, and 10 egg yolks. Separate this into 3 different areas, and the first one is for cake, the second is for the meringue, and the third is for the pudding. Take out a parchment paper and create a dome in the middle, just like this. This dome will create the 2 pieces of cake. It's important to wipe down your bowl with vinegar, that way your meringue will not deflate. Okay, so for the cake layers, we're going to add in our 6 egg whites, or 200 grams of sugar, or 1 cup, and a lemon, or a teaspoon of vinegar. And we're going to start mixing. Start on the highest setting. And we're going to mix this for about 10 minutes. And around the 8th minute is when I like to add in the sugar. So this 10 minutes is approximate because I was mixing it quite rigorously. It only took me about 8 minutes altogether. So probably within about the 6th minute I was adding in. So you're just looking for a stiff peak and no longer or no shorter than 8 to 10 minutes. Okay, so time to add in the meringue cake mixture into the pan. Just add it equally on both sides. So make sure not to hit the pan too hard. It looks like I was hitting it hard, but I wasn't. And create nice layers evenly. Don't press too hard so the air doesn't fall out. I turned over the pan, that way it can be a little bit easier to reach on both sides. Just lightly go back and forth and press it. I used a chopstick here, that way the edges weren't completely touching the pan, though they still were, not to get it confused, but I was just creating an invisible gap, so to speak, getting rid of some of that cake meringue layer. And as you can see in the back, I'm not completely separating it, I'm not doing too much work. Stick it in the oven at 275 for about 1 hour. Here are the ingredients for my pudding, which is also in the recipe that you can look back to. So we're going to put the sugar in the bowl, and then we're going to put 2 cups of milk into the pot, and the remaining 1 cup of milk into our bowl with the sugar. Okay, so now we add the vanilla sugar packets. If you don't have vanilla sugar, you can obviously use vanilla, but the next time you go into a Polish, Turkish, or Balkan type of grocery store, make sure to pick some up. Okay, so now we're measuring out the 5 tablespoons of flour. Of course, you have to use a tablespoon and not an actual measuring tool because us Balkan ladies most likely don't have that. So this recipe is based off of an old kitchen. Sift that in, and now we're going to add in our egg yolks. Now turn on the stove with the remaining milk and heat it up until boiling. Once it starts boiling, you're going to turn it off so it doesn't run over. Add in your mixture, and once you have added in your mixture nice and finely, sift it in, you're going to turn on the stove to a medium low heat and mix for approximately 10 to 20 minutes. Now we're going to prepare our butter. This is a block of Irish butter. It's exactly how much you need this block here, so it's perfect, and Irish butter is the best and most delicious. Here is the pudding about ready. And we're going to add this into our butter while it's still warm and mix. And here's our cake layers all done. Now we're going to prepare our fruits into a bowl and make sure they're nice and clean. So I add some apple cider vinegar or any type of vinegar that you have into the bowl. I also would use bananas if you like in this cake recipe, but I didn't. So now we're going to use some kind of Cold Whip, Dream Whip, basically any type of whipping cream. I made this one, but you can use any type of whipping cream. It's just the layer in the cake. So I'm going to make that according to the recipe on the back of this specific Dream Whip. So I'm whipping it. And make sure that your pudding is frozen cold. So we put it in the refrigerator. I'm going to mix it one more time and put it back in the refrigerator, making sure it is as stiff as possible before assembling my cake. Now that my cake layers have cooled down for about 10-15 minutes, I slowly take it out of the pan and add in all of my layers. So I start with the pudding. My pudding was not cold enough, unfortunately, so I was not able to spread on the Dream Whip. But if properly cooled, it should be able to evenly put in there. Still tasted amazing, but this cake is not one to look pretty. It's one to taste good, that's for sure. Okay, so I'm adding everything together. So pudding, Dream Whip, fruits. You can add banana here as well. Dream Whip again, and pudding. Flip over the cake layers so the flat side is upside down. And now we're going to make the meringue. So this meringue recipe, I am going to make a separate video on how to make it. But here is the gist. So I'm going to add egg whites, sugar, and mix it on a double boiler for 5 minutes. Then I'm going to take it off the double broiler and mix for another 3 to 5 minutes, and that will create a beautiful meringue that will not melt in the fridge. This cake could stay in the fridge for 5 days to a week, though I sure doubt that it will last that long. Here's my husband eating the cake and asking for more, please. Yes, this cake lasted a few days, and here is my recipe.